Okay, now starting with the next passage, the Buddha is going to show the stages of, we call these the stages of awakening, the stages of realization that can be achieved through the threefold training. In the last chapter, when we discussed the last chapter of In the Buddha's Words in my earlier course, we went through the 4 stages of realization. So here we can just take them concisely, not in detail. So the first stage is accomplished through the destruction of the 3 lower fetters. Actually, we met these already in the Sabbasava Sutta, which we took a few weeks ago. These are the 3 fetters of what's called identity view, or the view of a self existing in relation to the 5 aggregates. Doubt, that is doubt about the Buddha and his teaching. And then Sila paramasa, the wrong grasp of rules and observances. That's blindly adhering to certain rules and observances with the idea that this is sufficient to attain liberation. And so with the achievement of the first stage of awakening, one penetrates the ultimate truth of the Dhamma, one sees the 4 Noble Truths, and one cuts off those 3 fetters so that one enters the stream of the Dhamma, and one becomes what is called the Sotapanna, a stream enterer, who's no longer subject to perdition. People don't use this word very often anymore. Maybe we would say who's no longer subject to rebirth in the lower realms. The stream enterer can no longer be reborn in the 3 lower realms, the hells, the animal realm, or the realm of the pretas, the tormented spirits. He's bound for liberation and heading for the full enlightenment. And then other texts say that this kind of disciple has no more than 7 rebirths, either in the human realm or in the celestial realms, and then will make an end of dukkha, of birth and death. Okay, next, we now move on to the next, second stage of awakening. This is the stage of the once returner. And so, the once returner, like the stream enterer, has eradicated the first 3 fetters and has further weakened lust, hatred, and delusion. And so by further weakening lust, hatred, and delusion, this disciple, it said, returns once more to this world and then reaches the end of suffering. But if you remember the way I explained it in the last course, based on what the Abhidhamma and commentaries say, even though the sutta says he returns once more to this world, there's like a little footnote to that. He's either reborn once more in this world and reaches the end, or he's reborn in the heavenly realm and reaches the end there, or he's reborn in the heavenly realm, then comes down one more time to the human world, it's twice returning, and then makes an end. But probably because the usual way is one more rebirth, or at least that's the way for one with sharper faculties. So this disciple is called the once returner. Okay, then the third stage is one who destroys the 5 lower fetters. The 5 fetters that bind one to the sensuous realm of existence. even to the human realm, even to the heavenly realms in which there is still sensual enjoyment. And so this disciple eliminates, of course, the first three fetters, and on top of that, he eradicates sensual craving and ill will, anger, irritation. Those are the other two fetters that bind one to the sensual realm. And so one who eradicates the 5 lower fetters becomes a non-returner. In Pali, it's anagami. And this kind of disciple, will still take rebirth, but not in the sensual realm. This kind of disciple will take rebirth in one of the higher realms of existence, in the form realm. They are reborn spontaneously, not with parents, and in the form realm, they attain final nibbana, full enlightenment, and they reach nirvana in that realm without ever taking rebirth again in the sense realm, sense sphere of existence. Now, normally, in the progression of stages of awakening, the stage of non-returner would be followed by the attainment of arhatship. But here, the text wants to put in all the benefits. And so, you see, the attainment of straight mentora, once returning, non-returning, let me put it this way. Sometimes the attainment of arhatship comes as the 4th of the 4 stages of awakening. But other times, the attainment of arhatship comes as the 6th of what are called the 6 abhinya. These are the 6 higher knowledges, the 6 superior types of knowledge. The doggy, don't pull away from your pose. It's okay. Okay, so other times the text will present arhatship as the 6th of the 6 abhinya, the higher knowledges. So what this sutta has done is to splice the scheme of the 6th. It had to find a place to put in the 5 mundane abhinyas, culminating in arhatship as the 6th. And so what it did is to splice them in between the 3rd stage of enlightenment and the 4th stage of enlightenment.